Welcome to Acharya Private Tutor. Today we are going to take short revision of the World War. Causes of the World War. A. Nationalism refers to the sense of unity felt by the people who share a common history, culture, and language. In the latter of 19th century, this feeling of unity turned into extreme pride. Example, which made the people of many countries believe that their country is superior to other countries. This led to the development of aggressive nationalism in Europe. Aggressive nationalism meant love for one's own country, hatred of other countries. Each nation thought about its own national interests, and did not care for the interests of other nations. France wanted to get back its provinces Alsace and Lorraine from Germany. Italy wanted to get back territory of Trentino-Trieste from Austria. Balkan states like Serbia wanted that their fellow national slaves who lived in other states should come together to form a greater Balkan state. These countries developed expansionist policies in the name of nationalism. Therefore, military strength became synonymous with national prestige. Every country began to increase her military power. Imperialism refers to the state policy and practice by which a powerful nation establishes its control over the other country, either by direct territorial acquisition by gaining political and economic control. Once conquered, this country was claimed as a colony. These colonies were governed and administered by the imperial nation through its representatives, a puppet government. The imperial nations exploited the resources of these colonies for their own economic interest: raw material, cheap labor, agricultural land, trading ports to the imperial nations. By the end of the 19th century, England, France had built up a huge colonial empire in Asia, Africa. British imperialism was focused on maintaining and expanding trade. By exploiting the resources of its colonies, India, Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Egypt, South Africa, Caribbean islands, and many parts of Africa. Britain's imperial power was reinforced by her powerful and world's largest navy. Some other countries of the world like Germany, Italy, Russia, Japan, these countries too wanted to increase their influence and create their colonies in Asia and Africa. These colonies were essential for their progress as they could provide raw materials for their industries and markets for their finished products. Besides, acquiring colonies would add to the power and prestige of their countries. This led to a clash of interest among these countries. The European power began to scramble for expanding their economics, political empire. Thus, aggressive nationalism and fierce economic competition filled the atmosphere with fear, apprehension, mutual hatred, international tension. People felt convinced that international problems could only be solved through militarism. Race for armaments. The Franco-Prussian War, one of the reasons which led to the First World War. Every major power began stockpiling armaments in the name of self-defense, preservation of peace. As a result, if one country increased its armaments, other countries were compelled to do same. It filled the atmosphere with fear, apprehension, mutual hatred. In order to protect her colonies in Africa, a few islands in the Pacific, Germany began to build a powerful navy with a view to achieving parity with Britain. By 1914, Germany had left France far behind in the production of iron steel. One of its, German, ship, the Imperator, built in 1912, was the largest in the world. The German dug the Kiel Canal deeper so that battleship could enter its waters. Britain and France were concerned with Germany's growing military strength. This led to a fierce competition among the European countries, gave rise to the race for armaments. Division of Europe into two. Hostile. There were two kinds of state in Europe in the early 20th century. On one hand, there were single national states like France, Holland, German, whose national identities were based on their common language traditions. On the other, there were imperial states like the Austria-Hungarian Empire, the Russian Empire. The Austria-Hungarian Empire was ruled by the Habsburg dynasty of Austria, including in its territory Hungarian Serbs, Bosnian Croat population who spoke different languages, had different cultural traditions. Germany entered into an alliance with Austria-Hungary. In 1882, Italy joined to the alliance. It came to be known as the Triple Alliance. After the death of Bismarck, France was able to establish friendly relation with Russia, England. The Russian Empire included territories populated by Polish, Ukrainian, Turkish, Mongol populations. The three countries, France, Russia, England, entered into the Triple Entente in 1907 to counter the Triple Alliance. Later, Japan joined the Triple Entente. Thus, Europe was divided into two hostile camps. Britain had created a vast British Empire by acquiring colonies in Asia and Africa. It grew rich from its success in trade and foreign resources markets, territories, people. Other countries of the world like Germany, the Netherlands, Italy, the USA too wanted to acquire colonies in Asia, Africa. This led to a scramble for colonies and therefore, rivalries and wars. Rivalries between nations happened not just for colonies but for colonial trade routes as well. These rivalries created suspicion, tension and wars, which finally culminated